I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Welcome to the global church without walls and borders, without routine, without regimentation. I just woke up in this beautiful holiday resort and I decided to do a Bible study with you wherever you are all over the world. And please let us know where you are watching from to confirm that we are really a global church without borders. And tell us what you are doing as you are watching. That shows that church can become very flexible and global. Number 2, I have a webinar coming up on the 21st of February by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. It's going to be on endless opportunities and limitless possibilities. It's a mind-blowing revelation that God has given to me to blossom you. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62 to register for the webinar. Those who register on time have a discount of 5,000 naira. Now, we've been studying the book of Ruth, and we dwelt on Ruth chapter 1, verse 19. Now the 2 women went until they came to Bethlehem. Now, do you understand what is there? Ruth trekked with Naomi for 7 days to 10 days. An old woman, complaining mother-in-law, discouraging mother-in-law, and maybe she will be cranky and sluggish. Could you, as Ruth from another tribe, you could easily have dismissed her, carry your wahala go. Carry your wahala go, and not come from your place. Would you stay with her when Upper has gone back? One of the problems most women complain today, even men, is about in-laws. Can you tolerate a nagging in-law? Can you tolerate a nagging boss and focus on where you are going to? Can you be patient enough to wait for her and climb with her? Remember, she will have carried a lot of luggages. Such women carry a lot of luggages. Ruth was consistently focused on the mother-in-law, the bond she had with that family. A lot of women today break away from marriages so easily. Same thing with men. You don't have bond. And you see, I was discussing with Abraham that God scavenged for genes from different places to build the nation of Israel. Jacob, God knew that Israel was going to struggle for territory. So he loved a man who started fighting for territory in the womb. God knew that he was going to take Abraham to a land that was not his own, that people were already occupying, and that Moses was going to lead the people to a point and Joshua would take over to fight for the land. And so when Jacob was fighting in the womb, God said, this is the kingdom mindset that I need. Africans are poor because they don't know how to defend their territories, defend what they have. They don't even know how to fight for the freedom of their nations from evil politicians. Look at the Iranians. They are Persians. They are not Arabs. And remember Persia, how they fought for territory years back. And so God needed that gene of Jacob. And Jacob was ready to take the birthright of stupid Esau. The Jewish nation don't care if they will take your thing, take your property, if you are not serious-minded. You will say it is wickedness, but that is how the world is. The earlier you come to it, that realization, the better. Look at this. beautiful place we are in now, let's leave this place for 6 months without occupying it. Cobwebs will take over, spiders will come, things will grow, rats will grow, lizards will grow. That's the way the world is. Protect your health, if not, disease will take it over. Wash your car, if not, rust will take it over. Protect your money, if not, scavengers will take your money. Protect your territory. Look at Tamar. God loved Tamar because Tamar was a very tactical woman. How did she camouflage in such a way that the father-in-law could not recognize her? Israel has very little space to maneuver most times. To fly from Tel Aviv to Entebbe airport, free their hostages during Idi Amin's time, they just needed a small space of time between dusk and morning. Only one woman died. Her name was Dora Blush. She went for treatment in Kampala. I've been to the Entebbe airport. Before she came back, they had freed the other people. Idi Amin Yamotunized her. They made one mistake, and that mistake was that they did not destroy the observation tower before they started operating. And that's where the younger brother of Netanyahu, Koenig, was Yamotunized. And so, only a small space. Israel operates within a narrow space. And Tamar heard that Judah was going to thresh his wheat or going to the farm. And she maneuvered that tiny space, changed her dressing, packaged a form of dressing first, widow's dressing, then changed to that of a prostitute. Do you know one of the Israeli prime ministers dressed as a woman to go to Lebanon to eliminate one of the terrorists that Yamotunized their people during the 1972 Munich Olympics? To fly to Baghdad to go and bomb this Iraqi reactor then. They flew below radar level, just a little distance between mountains. Can you maximize little opportunities, little spaces, little chances? That's what God saw in Tamar. Let's talk about Rahab, from where the genealogy of the parents of Jesus Christ, earthly parents, came from. It was a very catastrophic situation. She was able to manage her family in her flat for 6 days. You see the negotiation she had with the spies. Will you do this for me? The spies also said, this is this, this is this. The Jewish nation is one of the richest nations because they know how to transact, they know how to negotiate. Don't be an idiot like Esau. Jacob transacted with Esau. Give me your birthright. You see, don't just look at the kingdom principle from the perspective of Jesus Christ and the disciples alone. In fact, Jesus did not preach Christianity. He preached kingdom. A man gave money to his servants to invest. One of the servants took the money and planted it. If it is today's dispensation, the servant that brought the money back intact and in the same way, we will say that he is a reliable servant. No! Kingdom principle is productivity, increase, dividends, results. So God scavenged for genes of intelligence, commitment, consistency. Look at Mary and Joseph. Can you wake up midnight and run with your wife and your baby to Egypt? What character traits do you have that will make God really choose you to excel? Thank God for the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, whose blood is shed for us, that we all can have access to paradise. But here on earth, for you to excel, for you to produce results, you need character traits. Okay. Now, the next thing is that, but when they got to Bethlehem, the whole city was stirred. That was the last video I did. But she said to them, "Do not call me Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty has dealt very bitterly with me." Naomi means sweetness. Mara means bitterness. Remember the waters of Mara that were bitter. But remember, even at the waters of Mara, there was a stick nearby that was going to be dropped into the water to make it sweet. Your reaction to what is happening around you is based on the knowledge, your knowledge of God. If you know God, you will not react like a typical human being. When Jesus said Lazarus was sleeping, let us go and wake him up. Normal knowledge says Lazarus is dead. He has been dead for 3 days. But he got there, he said, "Lazarus, come forth." So your reaction to your situation now is based on your knowledge of God. Yesterday, my professor, when I went to do Masters in Public Administration, the hall was seated, the Vice Chancellor was there, professors were seated, and when I was welcomed into the hall, he came and shook my hands. He asked me a question. "What are you doing here?" He didn't know that if you don't shock your generation, they will choke you. And she didn't. I told him I was the guest lecturer, and you're waiting for me to speak to you. He was my lecturer, but I had metamorphosed. You see, so when I was his student, he did not know me and know why I was there. But I was seen yesterday and the day before yesterday. When people called me terrible names when I sold the hospital, they were not seen today. They did not know how God can transform a sperm cell and an egg to a human being like me. How God can call light out of darkness and formlessness. How this beautiful world was created out of a disorganized life. No matter what has happened, no matter what is happening, if you know God, don't worry. He is taking control of your life. When I told my wife we'll be staying in hotels around the country on my 40th birthday, she could not understand. She was thinking, where is the money? What will you do to make you stay in hotels around this country? It's not only around this country, it's around the world today. But it is paid for by God. So, don't react according to what has happened. Respond according to what God will do, likely do, is capable of doing, and what you want him to do. So she changed her name from Naomi to Mara. But God subsequently had planned ahead to make her Naomi. When Ruth delivered, the women of the community who were talking and talking when they came out to celebrate with her. Now, she said, "Call me Mara. I went out full, and the Lord has brought me home again empty. Why do you call me Naomi, since the Lord has testified against me, and the Almighty has afflicted me?" Don't tell lies against God. If you were a fool, why did you leave Bethlehem? If you were a fool, why did you leave Bethlehem? It was because you were empty and you did not trust God. That's why you left Bethlehem. To the pipeline between you and the promises and the provision of God is trust, is faith, is consistency, is focus. Don't tell me to leave you. That was Ruth. Jacob said, "I will not leave you unless you bless me." And God blessed him. Too many people think that life is easy. They think that the process is easy. Listen, the most efficient soldier is the hardest trained soldier. The most efficient policeman is the hardest trained policeman. I have gone through core hardship. There was a day I asked God, why me? He said, why not you? He said somebody has to pass through what you are passing through to be able to encourage others. You know, one of the things for you to hawk firewood, carry it on your head, and trek from Okere to Obaho, it requires faith that somebody will buy. It requires consistency. It requires endurance. And when they don't buy it, and you are going back home, you know that if they don't buy today, tomorrow they will buy. And so those are the things I pass through. If you touch my palms, they are very hard. To break firewood, to be able to buy provisions to go to government college. When your mates come with Horlicks, Weetabix, they come with stuff, and you go with 2 tins of milk, 1 packet of sugar, and garri, it is a sign that no matter where I am now, there is a place God is taking me to. It's a sign of faith. So hardship should build a bond between you and God. Whatever you are passing through, it's not what you pass through that matters. It is who you become in the process of passing through it. And that's what most people are not interested in. Most people are interested in comparing themselves with the enjoyment of other people. Naomi was comparing herself with the women she left behind. Say God has dealt with her very badly. No, you left. There are key principles that govern your relationship with God. If you break them, the serpent will sting. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her, who returned from the country of Moab. Now they came to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. Let me say this and I will leave you. You see, when they went, there was famine, there was no food, then bread came to Bethlehem. How did bread come to Bethlehem? It was during the barley harvest. They didn't import it. And so they started producing bread from barley. Now listen. In every dispensation, there is something that trends. The trending issue now is the barley. Later, there was wheat. Today, the world has moved from coven and whoever is troubling you. Your auntie that is troubling you, the witch that is troubling you is physical. Today, there is a virtual world that is digital, electronic, that witches can't enter. They don't understand it. And then AI is even confusing witches and wizards. AI can confuse a normal human being, not to talk of witches and wizards. And so, if you are to plug into this generation and leave the state of disaster to be a superstar, leave the stage of catastrophe to win a trophy, fit into the trending provision. AI is from God. If God did, every scientific discovery is a revelation of the nature of God. Tiny revelation of the nature of God. You see, so AI has come. The internet has come. If you don't plug into it now, like as Ruth did, you will remain in your state of devastation because you are stationed in the past. There is a new trend. Key into it. What is the business that is taking place in your environment? Key into it. Legitimate business, I mean, not internet fraud. Key into it. What is the new technology? What is the new methodology? What is the new thing God wants to do? They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. It's not fasting and praying. Somebody asked a question. We have prayed 100 days for Nigeria. We've been praying since has Nigeria changed? No. We are still operating in this stupid mindset of self-aggrandizement. We are still behaving like traditional rulers, even though we are executive governors and presidents and senators. We still want people to bow down before us. We still want to collect the wealth and then distribute trickles to the people, to the detriment of the people. We have not embraced modern democracy. If we are willing, how can you say electronic transmission is not possible? Dr. Sam Amadi has said that thing does not require internet to transmit. And so we have Godswill and Akpabio, we have all these people frozen in the underdeveloped mindset of the past because it favors them. Now, we gave money to do IREV, to do Beavers, and it failed 2023. And you have not rectified it till today, so that we will have transmission. What's wrong with your brains? You are frozen in Moab. Ruth came, there was barley harvest. He did not say, this is what we used to do when we were in Moab. The new reality is the barley harvest. And I'm going to share with you in the next service how you can plug into the barley harvest. I remain Dr. Charles Apoki. Thank you for visiting us today in our church, Global Church Without Borders. I hope you have learned something. I will, since it's not the routine church, write down what you have learned. Go to the transcripts, write down what you have learned, and share with others. Tell us where you are watching from. Subscribe to the channel. Remember our webinar, 21st of February, 2026, 7 p.m. Send a message to +234 80 21 21 92 62. And remember to subscribe to this channel. You know, like God bless you.